Elianne Ramos is so many things. We had a hard time choosing the ones to talk about. Let's just say she's one of the most influential Latinas on social media and an international committee member of the Women's Leaders of the Americas. Please welcome to the Engage 2017 stage, Elianne Ramos.
Hello, Prague. So happy to be here. My name is Elianne Ramos, and as he was saying, I'm a lot of different things, but the one thing that is closest to my heart is the work that I've been doing for over a decade now, which is working on behalf of the Latino community as an advocate. And today I'm going to be talking to you about how to use the social tools, social media, for social good. But before I get to that, I would like to give you a very important message from America to you, Prague. So sorry, so sorry. But, you know, in spite of everything, I think one of the bright spots in all the craziness that we're seeing here there in America and in some other parts of the world is the fact that there's been a resurgence in interest for people to participate in civic life. And this is the most beautiful thing that could happen. Nothing new. You know, activists have been using social media for over a decade now, and these tools have been helping us to organize, to get to meet people who are also interested in joining the fight. And it has allowed us to create those networks that we need to make the movements stronger. In fact, social media has become the tools of the resistance. And what we are seeing right now is that people are using social media not just to talk to each other or to see their families and to talk to post pictures of their breakfast like it used to be in times before, but they're using it now to actually share information that is helpful in the fight that we're doing. We have seen this happen before in the Arab Spring, for example. We have seen it in movements around the country in Ferguson, in other places of the world as well. But now it's really taking over. These movements would have never been able to happen were it not for social media. So let's see some of the ways that activists have been using it. Social media has allowed activists to, of course, share more messages to more people at a faster rate. And this is the beauty of social media, because it's not just, before we relied so much on paper. You know, you had a paper trail, you had to sign up people by hand, and you relied on email to communicate to larger amounts of people, but that limited your reach to the people that you knew, the people that you were able to reach. And that also limited you to your local area, because you now couldn't necessarily reach other groups in other parts of the country or the world that were doing the same kind of work that you did. Now, with social media, it makes it a lot easier. The second thing is to call out fake news. And as you know, the fake news are saturating the airwaves anywhere. It helps us to keep the news in check as well. When the news people are saying things that are not accurate, when they are trying to spread bad information, when they are, when they are Fox News, for example, in the United States, we are able to talk back, where before all of the news were just one way and people just sat, idly by watching whatever the news wanted to feed you. Now with social media, we are able to respond back. The other thing that is allowing activists to do is you have some issues that people don't feel that are necessarily important to them, because they don't feel a connection to it. But by sharing stories and denouncing injustices on social media, we are able to put a human face to these issues that are happening. And then people can make that emotional connection that they need to understand that some of these issues do affect them, even if not in a direct way. And the last thing that it's doing right now, like I was saying in the beginning, is that it's helping us fuel the resistance. And what's going on with that is not only are people tweeting and all of that, but activists are actually organizing online. They're reaching out to other people in other parts of the country. They're teaching each other how to use the tools. They are creating the coalitions that we need to make the movement stronger. And so social media has a lot of great things that it does, and great things that it's helping us do in our work. But there's also a lot of pitfalls, a lot of things that we have to watch out for, and that we're going to have to fight if we want to continue. So what is next? What is next in the resistance? What is been happening a lot is that a lot of people right now are fired up. They're sharing things online. They are armchair activists, like I like to call them. And the armchair activist is somebody who is just, oh, the president is this. I'm going to go on my computer and type up something, and I'm going to put it out there. But then what that means is that the movement stays there. The movement doesn't get out of the computer. It doesn't get out of the space where you are. And it becomes this vacuum, right, where we become more polarized because we tend to talk only to the people that agree with us. We tend to fight with the people that don't agree, and that helps us to get even more distant from one another. And so how do we work on that so that it doesn't happen, right? So one of the ways is by dealing with trolls online. As we know, in the last election, trolls played a really huge role in helping to spread all of this misinformation and polarizing people and getting into fights to provoke people to become enraged about what was going on in the elections. But that happens everywhere. It doesn't just happen in the United States. There's trolls in every country. I'm sure you guys have had some experience with them. So how do we deal? Sorry about that. I just hit myself. How do you deal with these trolls? I have been the victim of trolls, and it's no walk in the park, So there are 3 ways that you can, 4 actually, that you can deal with the trolls so that you are able to stop it, nip them in the bud before they become a larger problem, or before they alienate all of the people around you online. First of all is you ignore them. You don't feed the troll. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is you block them. You have to be able to cut the conversation. You do not engage. You do not share the conversation. You don't interact with this person. The third one is you report them. You have to report them, and you have to blacklist them on your website. If you have a website and they're leaving comments there, there is a way that you can blacklist on the back end so that they don't continue coming into your website. And then the last one is you share it with other people. You take pictures of the screen where the trolls are attacking, and you point them out to other people so that they are able to identify it and also block them and report them. How do we nullify fake news? As we know, another way, another thing that had a lot to do with the elections, the internet is filled with it. And it used to be that, when we saw things like this, this is an actual newspaper that exists in the United States. And when we used to see people reading this newspaper, we would laugh at the newspaper, but we would laugh at the people that read the newspaper. And we knew, and everybody took it as a joke. It's, obviously, you cannot believe that these are real things. What happens with the fake news is that they are carrying the same kind of crazy information that is not true. And they are getting spread out virally online, and we have to find a way to fight them. So how do we fight the fake news? There are several ways. One way is identify the fake news. One way to identify is a dead giveaway that a site is fake news, that a link that is shared is fake news. If you see a URL that says url.com.co or any other ending after .com, that's a dead giveaway that that's a fake news site. What do you do next? You call out the person that is sharing it. You have to inform that person. If it's a friend of yours, whoever it is, call him out and say, don't stop spreading fake news. That's the second thing that you do. The third thing that you do is you have to, if you get this kind of information and you are about to share it, before you share it, there are sites that have indexes, lists of fake news sites, and you can double check in those sites before you share this information. So the main site that has the most comprehensive list is called fakenewswatch.com. So before you share anything, go in there and double check that the site is legit. And so the last thing I have to share is what do we do to go beyond the resistance, to stop being just armchair activists? What do we do? Because we don't just want to be the Twitter person that is talking all the time and not doing anything about it, especially in these times when everything is going to hell. We want to make sure that we are active and that we go beyond. And the most powerful ways that we can do it are by funding the resistance. That's number one. All of these movements that are being created online, all of these people that you see really active trying to get together and to form these groups are volunteer. These are people who are concerned about the future of the country, about the future of the world. They are volunteering their time, and they are doing whatever they can. Give them money. And this is very important because we always think, oh, somebody else will do that. Somebody else will help them. No, it takes $1. If everybody in the world gave $1 to a movement that they feel important, we could take the resistance a lot longer. And I just want to make clear, when I say the resistance, that's whatever the resistance looks in your area, in your country. It means being civically active, and that's what I mean by that. Another way to go beyond the resistance online is to volunteer your time. These things don't happen out of thin air. They happen because people put in the time and the effort and their spirit into making things happen. And so get up from the couch, from watching TV, from yelling at the TV whenever you see something that you disagree with, and actually show up at one of these centers and say, I'm here to help. And they'll appreciate that. That's sometimes even more appreciated than money itself, because somebody has to make it happen. And why not be you? The last way that you can do, what you can do to go beyond the resistance is step up. Step up and run for office. If you have that fire in you that makes you want to fight, that makes you want to do something for your country or for your local area, get up and sign up and run for office. Another beautiful thing that is happening in the US is that right after Trump got into office, over 5,000 women have signed up. These women got tired of hearing somebody saying that he's going to grab them by the you-know-whats. And they decided to get up there and to fight the fight as a representative of the people. And we can do it too. And so these are some of the tools and techniques that we have been using as activists, me as one of many people in the US that are doing it and around the world. And I hope these tools are useful to you and that you can put them into practice and that they are helpful. These are times when everybody should pitch in, and there are so many ways to do it. I hope these are helpful, and let's continue the resistance. Thank you so much.